Kaylee, what are we doing next?
It's time for our Mint Mobile hotline question of the day. If you have a question and want to let your voice be heard on the show, go ahead and call the number on the screen, 951-268-4259. And our first question today comes to us from Phil Lynch, and he's asking if John Williams could potentially score the new Superman movie.
Hey, it's Phil Lynch, a.k.a. Schnipp calling. Quick question. If Spielberg is directing this new Superman, does John Williams return to reunite with his friend and return to the Superman character? I mean, come on. The greatest director of all time with the greatest composer of all time, taking on the greatest superhero of all time. I mean, the thought alone is enough to bring tears to your eyes. In fact, it's already brought tears to my eyes. So what do you think? Let me know.
All right, Phil, thanks a lot for calling that in. And listen, I got to say this. The notion of this, like you said, is enough to bring tears to your eyes, right? I remember it was a few years ago. We go to this John Williams concert every year. And a few years ago, they brought out Steven Spielberg on stage, which I just freaked out because you guys know he's my favorite filmmaker. So they bring out Steven Spielberg and he goes, we're going to do a little experiment here so you can actually understand why John Williams is so important to movies. He goes, I'm going to play the first 7 minutes of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade without John Williams' music. And then they play it. He goes, wasn't that awful? He goes, wasn't that boring and dull and have no life to it? He goes, now let's play it with the magic of John Williams. And they played the 7 minutes again with John Williams playing the thing. He goes, and Steven Spielberg comes back and he goes, that is what John Williams is to movies. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing, this idea of Henry Cavill's Superman and, Steven Spielberg directing it, which of course probably may not ever happen. It could totally be just wild speculation. But if it did, having Williams then come in to join Steven Spielberg and do Superman again, magic, absolute magic. But should they do that? No, they shouldn't. They really shouldn't. And I will tell you why. I say this as a huge John Williams fan. This isn't John Williams' Superman. Like, I don't have any problem at all with you using like overtures of the old Superman score to instill that sense of awe and that sense of nostalgia. And absolutely, the regalness, if you will, of the character of Kal-El. I'm all for that. But this Superman's already been scored, and that's been by Hans Zimmer. And he has his theme already. That bomb. Like I get chills whenever I hear it and feel it. Again, I'm not saying it's better than John Williams' Superman score. Of course, I'm not saying that. But this is Henry Cavill's score. And I'm not saying you even have to get, Hans Zimmer back to score, although that would be great, whether it's Spielberg directing or anybody else. But as much as I idolize, revere, worship John Williams and everything, this isn't Christopher Reeve. This is Henry Cavill. And I think this guy's already got his main score. Now, then you can talk about the rest of the movie and everything, but it then might be better to get somebody else whose sound is more akin to that of Hans Zimmer or Hans Zimmer himself, since you've already got his main theme. Anyway, that's just my take on it. It feels weird. I don't think I've ever heard myself say the words, no, John Williams should not score this. I don't think I've ever said that in my life, but in this case, I will. Rob, here, it's an interesting theoretical question, but in theory, in this wild fan speculation theory of Steven Spielberg directs, but if it did, should John Williams come back and score Superman again?
Well, I think, yes, if he could come back and score Superman again, he's retiring. I guess the last thing the Fableman score is the last thing that he's going to write for movies. But if he did come back, I would say, yeah, bring him back, because the thing is, the Man of Steel theme, which I love, that Hans Zimmer theme, is for Man of Steel. He's not yet Superman. That's the learning to fly, becoming Superman theme. And I could see Williams adapting that theme for the beginning of the movie. And it's kind of like what happened in Casino Royale, where there was no Bond, that they give you the full-on gun barrel at the end of the movie where he walks. And maybe they lead up to the Superman movie theme, the original Superman, the movie, John Williams 78 theme. And that's how the movie ends. You bring us into that, which I could see happening. But it's not the theme so much, it's the rest of the score. It's what John Williams would bring to the rest of the movie, to the action sequences, to the moments of quiet in the film. I just think he's a great composer.
Well, he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, and to maybe not necessarily, because like you said, it's incongruous to hear that Superman theme, his Superman theme with Henry Cavill. I'd be like that. It's just weird because it's not his theme, like you said. And that theme has to be earned. I think. And, you know,
Just by quick note, don't forget that John Williams is also scoring the new Indiana Jones film.
Oh, yeah, but
at
I
the
mean-
last John Williams concert, he actually played us.
yeah, but he already did that,
Yes.
even though it's coming out later. But yeah.
And Christian, it's an interesting theoretical question, but if in theory this new Superman movie does get going at some point, which we're expecting, regardless of who's directing, should a John Williams, get off the bench and come in and score it?
Yeah, I'm on the other side on this one. I think that the theme actually even can surpass the actors, and Christopher Reeve is my favorite Superman all time. I love Henry Cavill, and I'm glad that he's back. But Christopher Reeve and that theme, and without those movies, and what Christopher Reeve brought to the performance, that theme, he elevated it with his gravitas and everything they just put out there. But it was John Williams in the way that he scored that. I understand what you're saying, that he scored those Donner movies, so those were the movies that he scored. But I think there's something about, they even played it in Super Pets at one point in the very beginning. DC, the League of Super Pets,
Yep.
whatever. In the very beginning, they just a bit of, and not the main theme, just the score of Krypton, and it just played. It just felt right to me. It didn't feel. And there was
Well,
some people,
the Black Adam post-credit scene.
that's
too.
what I'm saying. So like but the Black Adam post-credit scene had the actual theme itself.
Yes.
It was the other stuff with it, and even John Ottman used it.
They use it a lot.
I used it
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah.
as you know, and it works. It plays, and it doesn't feel out of place. It feels like it belongs, and I think it'll belong. And I actually am also on the side. Like, I don't know if you remember this. I showed you this back in the old days, where there was a mixture that someone had done with Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, we were
and-
talking about it on the show the other day.
and Williams, and they put it together, and it worked really well. They own both themes. It's the same Superman from Man of Steel. They've already used it in Black Adam. Do it again. And if John Williams, if anybody can find a way to do it and make it sound magical, it's John Williams. If he comes back. Now, I agree. He's probably going to be retired, and probably, is he 92? Something like that. So he's
95?
Whatever he might be. So the chances of him actually doing it, but if it was Spielberg and an idea of Spielberg and Williams doing a Superman movie, yes, you'd be like, oh, I don't know, but you'd be excited about it.
Well, I mean, of course.
Right,
There are
right.
several things in the world of movies where it's like, I wouldn't do that, but if they announced
Of
it, yeah, of
course.
course I'd be kind of excited about it.
I also bet that that's the kind of thing John Williams would probably call Steve and go, I said I was retired,
Right.
but are you really doing a Superman movie?
He's done that about 4 or 5 times.
Because
by the
what
way.
really blows, if you look at, he only got to do one Superman score. They
Right.
adapted his scores
Right,
for
for
Superman
2.
2, 3, and 4, and for Superman Returns. But if you listen to the rest of that score, I think there is an argument to be made that the score for Superman the movie is the best John Williams score he ever
Really
wrote.
good.
I mean, take the Star Wars out of it. The Smallville theme, the March of the Villains theme, the theme when he's what's going on with saving the world. That score as a film score is one of the greatest scores ever written.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, guys, question is for you. What's your opinion on this? If they get this new Superman movie up and running, and whether or not Steven Spielberg does it, do you think a John Williams could come back or should come back to score the new one? Maybe you think more so if it is Spielberg, less so if it's not. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month. And now for the plot twist. I'm just kidding. There isn't one. Mint Mobile just has premium wireless from $15 a month. There's no trapping you into a 2-year contract or opening the bill to find all these crazy fees. There's no luring you in with free subscriptions to streaming services that you'll forget to cancel and be charged full price for. With my old wireless provider, every month when I opened the bill, it was like playing roulette. I never knew how big the bill was going to be, and it always seemed to get bigger. With Mint Mobile, it's totally different. I know exactly how little I'm paying every month, and there's never any surprises. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or a family. And at Mint Mobile, families start at just 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And guys, you get to use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. So transferring over couldn't be easier. So to get premium wireless from just $15 a month and no unexpected plot twists, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. You'll make your wallet very happy at mintmobile.com/Campea.